Alrighty. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. Good evening and welcome to the Resilient Living Podcast. I am Jared Wilson. I am joined by my friends. Let's see if I can be all clever and go back to being multi-screen here. There we go.
Here we are. I'm Ryan.
Elliott.
Sorry.
Yep.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I've been here before. Elliott Scott. I teach at a local university. I teach in exercise science. I teach people about how to be big, strong, fast, athletic, healthy, all that. And yeah.
And a bag of chips.
Yep.
Alrighty. And Ryan, of course.
Yep.
Our
I'm always
consultant.
Here. So.
Always here. Sweet. Well, while we wait for people to trickle on in, I don't have a specific product, but I have a vendor that I want to tout because, okay, so Davidson Firearms, love these guys. And I've talked about them before, but the way that they stand behind their products, like 100% guarantee every single firearm that comes through them by serial number. So if you bought one and then you sold it, it still has a lifetime warranty through Davidson's. Love them. So if at all, you're in the market for something like Springfield right now is running a heck of a deal. So if you're in the market for, some kind of a carry like the Echelon, the Hellcat, Hellcat Pro,
or anything. 320.
We'll just ignore that. No SIG 320s. Don't do that. I like my junk too much. Okay. Come by the shop. They're running the Springfield's running their deal, I think, all week long. So come by the shop and we'll get it ordered up and you'll get a heck of a deal. So
the non-gun people don't get that shit.
That's true. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to explain it. All right. So what did we plan on talking here?
I think we're going to go into some detail over strength training and just general strength as a whole, why it's valuable. I think the last time I was here, we covered kind of a bird's eye view of fitness as a whole.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
Covered a lot of fitness, a lot of elements of fitness. I think that's kind of what we touted as was elements of fitness. And so muscular strength, muscular endurance, cardio, honorable mentions to power and stuff like that. And kind of why that's valuable in the context of preparedness. And because it's kind of like beating a dead horse when we talk about health and like trying to look good in the mirror and what have you. Sometimes that's not enough persuasion to get people there, because sometimes it's just not. They just don't care.
Well, yeah, and then it's one of those hard ones. Like until you need it, you don't necessarily.
Exactly. I think in today's society, I think so many of us sit at a desk all day long that it's like, why do I need to be strong?
Or like myself, I'm really bad at like, well, I remember that I used to be able to do that, so I probably still could do it.
So you say that, and then the highest rate of Achilles tears is guys in their 30s,
right? That tried to do a dead sprint, no warm up, nothing. We're just like, nah, we're just gonna go.
I like seeing the videos where you've got the guys who are way overweight, but they were probably track athletes as in high school, and they decide to race, and they always fall flat on their face because they're so front heavy.
Yep. And it's always pickup basketball. You start ripping and popping stuff when you start playing pickup basketball. People really underestimate how intense that gets.
Yeah.
So
gosh, yeah.
Especially when ego gets in, because bro, I used to be able to dunk in high school.
so of course at 35, 40,
you're not in high school.
I'm gonna try.
More of your life has been outside of high school than in. So
yeah. I don't want to talk about that.
Well, I think
class 04.
Yeah, I think what you're getting at too, Elliott, is we've so I used to work on a underground cabling crew, and we had this one guy who's in his early 20s, and he's a gym rat, and he worked out like 5 hours a day. It's like all he did other than work and go to bars. And you got him next to like
that's the life, isn't it?
Guys.
Right?
What's that? Yeah, that's
the pinnacle.
Right. And like he's got these big, pretty muscles, and he can barely dig a hole compared to, guys twice his age who, they've got a beer belly and it's just because he's not strong. He did something to look good. And you're just kind of mentioning, are we working out to look good in the mirror, or, what is the actual purpose in what we're doing?
And strength is so specific. I think yes, there's a ton of, if you take someone who's really really skilled at their trade. So my dad will possibly end up watching this. I have no idea, but he always tells a story about how a guy that he used to work with, they would move like pianos, all this huge furniture, terribly awkward stuff, and he's like not this overly big dude, but he could move it better than any muscled up guy, and like and I fully believe him, because I've seen stuff like that in my own life, where like the little dude is just better at things than the big muscly guys. But I also think that if you take a big muscly guy and give him the same level of skill and experience as little guy, the ceiling is
way higher.
Yeah.
And
so I think that's where the value is. So we can raise people's ceilings. So if I take someone who's skilled at their trade, so if you actually worked in that underground cabling position, and you had been there for 15, 20 years, you have all the skills in the world. You know how you need to move. If we can build on that foundation using the weight room, dude, sky's the limit. And so you become more efficient at your job, all that. I think muscle naturally produces force. Bigger muscles produce more force. That's just kind of the name of the game. That's not the whole game, but that's the most confident thing that we can see. Hey, you're huge, you're probably strong. We don't see big people that are weak.
Yeah.
But like he said, there's skill involved. And so you can have all of this muscle and it doesn't actually carry over to everyday life.
Sure.
And so we have to merge that. So yeah.
So what would be a good, from a practical standpoint, what muscle groups would you prioritize then for everyday life?
Okay. So I'll start with athleticism because it's the easiest to understand. And anyone who maybe isn't in the weight room, you can look at the TV and see this. You can watch sports, you can see this. So, and I tell my students this: it doesn't matter what population you're working with. It doesn't matter what sport it is. If we wanted to isolate athleticism, it doesn't matter what sport it is. Triple extension, what's called triple extension, is the name of the game. So triple extension, all my exercise science students are like they know this. Triple extension is the extension of the hips, knees, and ankles.
Oh,
and so if you look at those three extensions in symphony, you see it in running, you see it in jumping, you see it in lifting anything fast, you see it in punching, kicking, you see it everywhere.
Sure.
And so as far as muscle groups go, I don't think we need to necessarily focus on muscle groups quite as much as we do movements.
Okay.
So actual patterns. And so focusing on triple extension, focusing on learning how to actually do a good hinge. So how many joints does a door hinge have? Just one, right? It's just one pivot point. Hinging with the body is just hinging with the hips. And so understanding how to do that properly and how to use the proper musculature, not the twisting, jerking as fast as you can way that we all like to do all too often.
That's what's so funny. Like, because I worked in the healthcare industry, I got to be friends with a bunch of occupational therapists and physical therapists. And, we suck at living. We suck at breathing. We suck at running. We suck at sitting, and
everything.
We assume, oh, I've been doing this my whole life. Of course I know what I'm doing. Like, no, actually you don't.
Yeah. And I think so I tell my students there's no such thing as a bad movement. But there is such thing as stagnation. And so if stagnation means if you're stationary, meaning if you sit at a desk or if you stand at a station. So I'll mention my dad again. He used to work basically in I don't have a better word, in a warehouse / factory kind of setting. So he had a specific station that he worked at. He was on his feet for 8, 9, 10 hours.
Right.
That's just as bad as sitting, because we all here in the health industry, it's like, oh, standing's better than sitting. No, they both suck if you're not moving.
Right.
And so the problem is the stagnation. It's not the position, it's the stagnation. Sitting isn't bad for you as long as you're not sitting 8 hours a day. Standing isn't bad for you as long as you're not standing 8 hours a day. You have to move. If you're doing the same repetitive movement, that is a form of stagnation. That's where we see people get arthritis, like in their hands, stuff like that. You see guys who are working construction that have back pain because they're doing the exact same. They're framing the houses the same way. They're laying floors the same way. They're running cables the same way.
Sure.
And so they're doing this across decades. And so you're seeing these same movement patterns. And that's a whole different video is mobility.
Yes.
So mobility isn't just how far your joints can move, it's how well you can direct them through that movement. And so that's where strength comes in. And so strength is beautiful because it can improve your mobility and that it can improve your coordination.
Right.
We'll talk about that for all age groups. It can improve bone density. It can improve the resilience of tissues. It can improve almost. I don't want to say everything about your fitness, but it's pretty freaking close if it's not everything.
All right, we got a question.
Yeah.
So Rocky Pines wants to know about Tai Chi. He's considered Tai Chi. Thoughts on the value? It's good for older dudes. Thoughts on Tai Chi?
I think it's up there with yoga. Okay. I think it's up there with yoga. I think it's valuable. I think it gets you moving. I think it can challenge your body in different ways. I don't know that I would make it the core of my fitness thing. So I love yoga for fitness. I love all of that for relaxation, for mobility. It can improve mobility. It can improve coordination, balance, all that. Tai Chi is the same way. There's a lot of balance involved, stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a strength stimulus.
Yeah, sure.
It's not going to be a large cardiovascular stimulus. Sure. You don't see Tai Chi and you don't, I was about to say, you don't immediately think hyperventilating, Right. And so, and I'm not saying everybody needs to hyperventilate to be fit, but, we do need to push ourselves occasionally. I like it. Anything that gets you moving, I just don't know that I would put it as the center of the program. Okay. I think if I had to choose anything to put as the center of the program, it would be like strength training, like that.
Push. Big
I think it's either cardio or strength training. Those are the top two that I'd make as the core, and I really have no solid argument against strength training in comparison to cardio. So yeah, Tai Chi is good. I just wouldn't make it the core if you're really trying to improve a lot of things.
Sure. I've noticed, like, as I've gotten older, how is it described? Dead spots. Like when I'll reach to grab something, like I'm good and strong here, and and I'm fine there. I'm okay out here, but like there's a weird dead spot in the middle. Yeah. Whereas I'm transitioning it, I have to be more concerned about my movement.
I think a lot of that's probably going to be a practice issue. So we kind of alluded to it a little bit prior was if you stop using a certain range of motion, you're going to lose strength in that range of motion.
Yeah.
And
yeah, absolutely. So, he's going to do Tai Chi and splitting wood. It's a good combo.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say, do both. Do all three. Strength train. If you strength train, you'll be able to split wood more efficiently.
True.
So
less susceptible to damage.
I feel like Rocky Pines has been watching YouTube. What are the YouTube ads? There's always the Tai Chi and the wood splitting ad. I don't know if he's making a joke here. Kind of.
Have y'all seen the wood splitting thirst traps? For women?
Oh gosh,
dude, it's bad. They take some like objectively good looking dude,
right?
Just some jacked dude, and he's just splitting wood out in the woods.
That's it.
Like, that's it. That's literally it. And he has a mic that's like basically in his esophagus, so you just hear him breathing. It's rough, man.
Oh gosh.
Don't fall for that, guys.
Yeah, right.
This doesn't exist.
It's as bad as an Instagram homestead.
Just keep going.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't trust people on Instagram about homesteading. And I am on Instagram homesteading, so I don't know what that says about me.
Entire time. It was not. You've never seen him without a shirt outside.
I was about to say, does he have a ton of tattoos? Yeah. It's always a tatted out guy.
I don't have any overalls, so
no. Oh
man,
or suspenders.
I was about to say suspenders is one that
what it is?
The most. Yeah. which is so weird.
I know, right? We've gone full circle. All right. So where are we going from there?
So I think defining, so when people think strength, we automatically think bench press, like we saw it in the comments just a second ago. What like was
rather
thinks
split
bench
wood.
press. Now, I love bench press. Bench press is great.
Sure.
However, there are other ways to assess strength than just how much you bench. I bench press at least once a week, if not twice, but I also do a crap load of other things too. So, so I think getting definitions out of the way is kind of paramount. So defining strength is referring to how much force you can deliver. It's not referring to how many times you can deliver it. It's referring to how much you can deliver.
Okay.
And so the number one way of measuring strength is what is referred to as a 1 rep max. So that is the classic how much do you bench question. So that's what they're asking, is how much can you bench once? So it's like can you do 100 pounds? Can you do 400 pounds? It's a very different answer. Now, with that being said, not everyone has access to that. Not everyone wants access to that.
Sure.
And so not everyone wants to bench, and that's fine. Strength, then it still is a maximal force, or at least how efficiently you can exert submaximal force.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a secondary thing. And so what I mean by that is if I take a runner and I make his calves stronger, each time he plants, that's a sub-maximal effort because he's doing thousands of steps, right?
Sure.
And so that's a sub-maximal effort. However, if each one of those steps is stronger than it was prior, that means each one of those steps is slightly further. That stride length is a little bit further.
Okay.
And so there is a relative nature. So there's an absolute strength, which is how much can you lift, does not matter. Like how much can you lift? Then there's relative strength, where how efficient are you with a sub-maximal load? This isn't asking how long you can go. It's how efficient can you exert that sub-maximal load. I think that secondary, how you improve that definition of strength, you use the primary definition. So the stronger you get in the weight room, or the stronger you get outside the weight room, however you're able to do it,
split
the
wood,
higher your maximal force ceiling is, the higher your ceiling for sub-maximal force is.
Okay.
And so the harder that you can split wood, like that, if you're using the splitting wood example, the harder you can actually hit the stump, right?
Yeah, sure.
You're not going to hit the stump and be done for the day, right? Like you have more, but each swing is going to be more efficient. It's going to exert more power because your ceiling is higher.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what we're aiming for real life. We want to increase that ceiling. It's not about the numbers. The numbers are largely ego driven. But if the numbers are still useful because it's tracking. And so if my numbers aren't increasing, I can't completely guarantee that I'm getting stronger.
Sure.
And so that's where the weight room is valuable, because you can see that. If you're doing things at home where you're trying to get stronger, it's a little bit harder to do that because we don't have numbers on the barbell as often. You might have a home gym, you might have all of this stuff, but not everyone does.
Right. Well, it's like, okay, you and I, we would go to the shooting range and we would use a pack timer to evaluate draw times, what our splits are between.
I can feel faster, but if that time isn't decreasing, am I?
Then you're not actually.
Exactly. I can feel stronger. I can feel like I look better in the mirror. I can feel like I'm splitting wood more efficiently. I feel like blah, 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 blah.
Right.
If my numbers aren't going up, or if this is really tedious, but if I were to keep track of how many strikes it takes to split a log compared to normal.
Yeah, right.
If that number isn't improving, I can't guarantee that I'm actually getting stronger.
Sure.
So getting those definitions out of the way is very, very valuable. Understanding how to track those things is valuable. That's going to look different for everyone. So that kind of brings us to the distinction from muscular endurance. So muscular endurance is that sub-maximal load. However, it is asking the question, how many times can you do it? So it is kind of bridging that gap of efficiency. There's also a dynamic muscular endurance. There's a static muscular endurance. Both of them are very, very valuable.
Hold versus
reps, sure. Right? So if we all go back to middle school, we all remember the plank. It's everyone's favorite. That is a static muscular endurance test, or a wall sit. That's a static muscular endurance test. that's not a strength measure, because holding a plank for 2 seconds isn't inherently wild, right? Like the vast majority of people, regardless of fitness level, could possibly do that.
Yeah.
I believe in you. Like, however, once we get up into a minute, it's an endurance issue. It's no longer a strength issue. There is no strength involved. It is purely endurance.
Sure.
And so, if we go to the bench press example to cater to my meatheads, if I get really, really strong, that's a strength metric where I'm just bench pressing once, just one maximal rep. However, if I just do a bare barbell that's just 45 pounds, I'm going to do that for like 1,000 repetitions.
Right.
That's no longer a strength stimulus.
Sure.
And so my goal is to kind of round this back out to strength. I want us to become so strong in the things that we do in everyday life that they become a muscular endurance issue, not a strength issue.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're 85 years old, a strength issue is standing up.
Yes.
There's literally sit to stands. That is a physical therapy term where we take for granted. We don't think about sit to stands whenever we sit down and then slouch in our chair and sit there for 8 hours, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So sit to stand is a like kind of a cornerstone test for PTs, for OTs, for occupational therapists, for all these clinical fields. We take it for granted because we're not there yet. Right.
Sure.
But we will be. Everyone gets there.
Yeah.
That is a strength metric for them. And so that's where we get into that relative strength.
Sure. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Does time of day matter for strength training?
No, not really. It matters only if it affects your sleep. If it affects your sleep, if you get to the point to where you can't cool down. So like, let's say you do a workout, you go to the weight room, go to the gym, go to your garage, doesn't matter. You do a workout. And this applies for all workouts as well. Running, strength, it's all of them. Because fitness as a whole, training as a whole, is going to cause what is called a sympathetic nervous response.
Mm-hmm.
That means your heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, body temperature goes up, everything goes up. That's natural. It's supposed to do that. That's the way the Lord created us. He created us to be able to run away from lions. So that is where that comes from. Now, the issue with that is whenever you actually finish your workout and then you try to go to sleep, you might still be physiologically, the clinical term is physiologically aroused from that.
You're in that elevated state. Yeah,
exactly. So your heart rate may still be up. Now, some people are more sensitive to that than others. I myself, I can work out at night and be just fine.
Okay.
I as long as I can cool down temperature wise, if I can get myself cool, I'm fine. Heart rate's usually not a problem. Pain after a workout's usually not a problem. Like it's not a big deal. As long as I can cool myself down, I'm solid. Get a fan on me. Good. I don't want to go to bed sweaty.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. A lot of people, they're like awake after a workout. And so I'm not like that.
Okay.
Many people are. I would argue most people are like that.
I say that when I used to go to the gym, I did it early in the morning because that was how I woke up.
Exactly.
It was great.
I think so. One of the reasons why I don't work out early in the morning is because I just feel like garbage early in the morning. I'm not a morning person whatsoever. And so my wife can attest to this. I don't speak for like 45 minutes after I wake up.
Leave me alone, give me my coffee.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
It's just kind of grunts all morning. Just but I also like to have the day to warm up. And so like me personally, my prime time to work out, if I had my choice, is the hours between like 1 and like 4 o'clock. That's my prime time.
Okay.
That's my highest performing. If I work out after that, I'm afraid that it'll affect my sleep. It hasn't in the past, but I don't want it to get to that point.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Kara concurs.
That might be her first YouTube comment.
Hi, Kara.
Hello, wife.
We coaxed her into it. Now say something else that makes her comment.
Yeah, right.
Jeez, there's no telling what I'm going to say. But yeah. Time, ultimately, to answer your question, time of day doesn't matter as long as you can fall asleep.
Sweet.
Yeah, as long as you can fall asleep. So, kind of rounding us back in. Again, I want that goal to be, I want us to get to the point to where we are so strong that something that was a strength stimulus is now a muscular endurance issue.
Sure.
I want that 85-year-old man or woman to go from sitting to standing being a strength issue to being a
Reps.
muscular. Yeah, like that. Like they need to be able to rep that out. That's the
Right.
goal.
Yeah.
I watched a video. Golly, this humbled me big time. I watched a video of, I don't know if he's a world champion or not, but he's in his mid 80s and he deadlifted like 300 some odd pounds. It was
Wow.
gnarly. It was awesome. Like
Wow. Yeah. Right.
like just
Standing ovation there.
incredible.
Dang.
Now he's built for it. He's short. His arms are long.
Oh.
The fitness space knows what this is, but the ape index,
Yeah.
it's like your wingspan is longer than your height.
Uh-huh.
Like he had a super high ape index, and so like his knuckles are dragging the ground. But still, like being like knocking on the door at 90 years old and being able to out deadlift most like high school and college students is wild.
I mean, that puts him in like the
And it was
top
good form. It's good form.
percent of the world.
Exactly. And that's another thing. So coming from the fitness space, we have extremely unrealistic standards with fitness. Like coming from the fitness space, the like benching 225 is a huge man card.
Right.
And that's an early goal. Like that's something a lot of people in the gym space, they start working out really heavy, especially if they actually go to a gym. They don't start with push-ups, sit-ups, all that crap like I did. They actually start out in a gym.
Oh, okay. Right.
They'll hit that 225 mark like quick. So they'll hit 2 slabs on a bench press.
Yeah.
Really quickly. That's kind of like, okay, I'm in. Like that's my key in.
Sure.
Most people in human history have never been that strong.
Right.
Like just being able to exert that much force in a pressing motion, the vast majority of people in human history have never been that strong.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild.
But like runners, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's not like, I'm just thinking from practical, like I'm out on the homestead, I'm out on my farm, whatever, doing things.
Mm-hmm.
How often do I need to exert more than
force?
To lift myself?
And I think that's where that goal of turning something that was strength into muscular endurance, I think that's where that is valuable, because most of the time you don't have to exert that much force. Most of the time what you do on a homestead or in a preparedness scenario or whatever it is, if you're camping, it's that repetitive motion. Yeah. And so if we can get so strong that we are more efficient in those, that's where it is. It's not because we think we're going to exert that much force. I know for a fact that I'm never going to pick up something that's like over 300-400 pounds.
What you're physically capable of doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I don't plan on lifting a car. Like I don't plan on being one of those news stories, which are true. That happens, by the way. There's a whole scientific slew of physiology that the human body does when it's in danger. It's really, really cool when you look into it.
I've lifted a car before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is it a Hot Wheels car?
It was pretty much. It was a Hot Wheels car. Remember those old 3-cylinder Geo Metros?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The back end was so light you could literally, and they had the metal bumpers, so you could literally grab the back end and lift it. And I had a roommate in college who was a bit neurotic, and we had these like pylons by the parking spots, and so I took his car and butted it up against one of the pylons and then lifted it over. And so he got up for church the next morning. He was Austin Powers, you know.
I was about to say, is he strong enough to also move the car out of the way? So like if he didn't have to do the 18-point turn.
Yeah, he just didn't think of it.
Do that to someone that's not strong enough to move it. That'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, well, he's in his Sunday best too. So
poor guy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's our goal. We want to be so strong that what used to be strength is now a muscular endurance thing. So we want to be able to rep out what used to be heavy for us. That's the goal.
So for homestead, for aging people, identifying those tasks then that are on the upper echelon of what we're capable of doing, that one rep.
Yeah.
That becomes kind of that goal of like, okay, well, if I can get more than one rep of that, that becomes that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And so, you're kind of chasing this. So like me personally, like that 225 bench press, like right now, I haven't benched over 225 at all. But what I have been trying to do is I've been trying to do more repetitions of the 225. And so again, I'm taking that, what used to be a strength stimulus, I'm trying to turn it into a muscular endurance stimulus. And so that's the goal.
Sure.
And so, and your 1 rep max, your maximal strength will improve as a result of that. So once you actually hit a mark and you actually start to get to a muscular endurance, you will still continue to get stronger, more than likely, the vast majority of the time. The only people that won't are those that have already reached their genetic limit. And so those are the top tier, top 0.0000000, like strongest humans on earth. Like, yeah. So maximal strength is vital for all ages. And again, I want to make this distinction. I don't want us to get in the habit of saying I'm strong because I can do X number of push-ups or I can do X number of pull-ups, because again, that's a muscular endurance stimulus. I'll give you a story. Going through the police academy, no longer a cop, but going through the police academy, I was wonderful at push-ups. I'm good. I'm just naturally good at push-ups.
Sure.
Like I did 78 in a minute. Like I did a comically high number of push-ups, and they were clean too. I got overall weaker during the police academy. so
like, wait a minute.
You can do a ton of push-ups. At some point, the stimulus just is not enough on the musculature to induce benefit.
Sure.
And so I actively got weaker. I actively I came back from the police academy thinner. Like I'm already thin, like I'm already a string bean, and I was like not emaciated by any means, but like I just was not.
You were definitely leaner.
I didn't feel like, I was about to say, like I was not full, if that makes sense. So at a certain point, for some people, a push-up is a strength stimulus.
Sure.
For most women, if there are women listening to this, most women, push-up is a strength stimulus. Therefore, they should do it. But I want you to get so good at that strength stimulus that it becomes a muscular endurance stimulus. And so the way to do that is to get stronger. That's why we're talking about strength. So
nice.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions?
Rocky's homestead workout feels like a grab bag of CrossFit.
CrossFit is a way to get stronger. Also, I personally love odd object stuff, because I think like sandbags, hot dang. Oh my goodness. You can deadlift all you want. It doesn't matter. It does not challenge you the way a sandbag, something that is true. I understand it's called a deadlift, but it does not compare to a dead weight.
Yeah.
Right?
When you're doing like a body drag, it is so different. Like I can lift up, 180 pounds. Try it when it's a body.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Like if you put 185 pounds on a barbell, it's a joke. If you put 185 pounds in a sandbag, it makes you want to do negative things. I don't know who's listening. So, it's just, it is gnarly. And so odd object stuff, carries, stuff like that can be a strength stimulus if you go heavy enough. That's the problem.
Sure.
And so that's where a little bit of experience and stuff comes in. You have to kind of know what you're doing. That's the hard part with odd objects. You can't just introduce it to anybody because there is technique involved with a sandbag. There is technique involved with a heavy farmer's carry.
I would imagine the likelihood of injury.
So if you set up for a deadlift with a barbell, there's a bracing technique where you keep your spine neutral. Everything looks kind of robotic, honestly.
Okay.
With a sandbag, there is bracing, but it's in a totally different position. And so it's a little bit more hunched over. You're bracing in that position, so it's safe, but the margin for error is a little bit higher. And so there's no room for ego. It doesn't care about your ego at all. It will let you know. Yes.
All right. So push-ups. Can Can you do some kind of push-ups at 63 with a bad shoulder? That is
the number one way, in my opinion, to scale push-ups is to elevate what you were pushing up on.
so an incline.
Yeah, so an incline, basically an incline push-up. The thing is, where people get wrong with the incline push-up is their positioning starts to get higher and higher and higher. So let's say you have a common one in PT is you'll have older adults that may be coming from back from a rehab situation or whatever. They're doing push-ups on the wall. That's a great way to start. However, because it's push-ups on the wall, you're pushing like this, where your elbows are all the way down here, and it's almost like this, like kind of elbow extension thing instead of a press where you're actually pressing from the chest.
Right.
Hopefully that comes across on video. You want your hands kind of underneath the shoulder just a little bit. You don't want them above. You don't want your elbows all the way out here. There's a time and a place for this, and it's rare. Like it's rare. It's for experienced bodybuilders. That's really the only time that this is.
So ideal. Elbows rolled in.
We want elbows kind of close, as close as you can handle it,
and palms further down.
The way I usually communicate it is if you're trying to shove someone, like I don't recommend shoving someone, but if you're going to shove someone, I don't shove them out here.
Right.
This is a hug.
Yeah.
This is like I'm not shoving them like this. I'm shoving them here. I'm also not doing this either. We see this a lot in push-ups, especially in newer people. We want the power to come from here. If you watch a football player, I understand not everybody plays football. If you're in your 60s, obviously you're not playing football, but like that is that motion that we want to press with. And so as you elevate that surface, it becomes harder to actually achieve that nice pressing position. So that's what I would keep an eye on. But that's the number one thing. So as you get stronger with that, we don't necessarily always want to work through pain. I'm not a licensed physical therapist, so kind of take what I say with a grain of salt. Most of me is sport performance, but most of the time you don't want to necessarily work through pain. Pain is a signal, and so we need to
saying, hey.
Exactly. It's literally a communication tool. Sometimes it lies, but sometimes it doesn't, and so. And
when you're older, that's a higher risk.
It is. And so tissue has been on earth a little bit longer when you're older. And so it has more breakdown than someone who's younger. And so you have to be a little bit more careful. That's why positioning and everything is a lot more important. So that's why I'm driving home that idea of like, it has to be a clean pressing position. So like if you're pressing on the kitchen counter, that's the number one way to do it. Just make sure that you have that clean kind of elbows down position, bring the hands in just a little bit. You can still go a little bit wider. You just don't want to be out here. Right. And that's hard to do over a podcast, but maybe we do it like exercise technique video one of these days.
Do that.
But
so can you use, could you use stairs as kind of that incline? Like
100%. Yeah. And you could mark the stair that you're used to and then gradually lower it. And so you, like we talked about how sometimes the weight room is what provides us that number, that tracking that we want. A set of stairs provides that. And so if you get X number of reps, or
stair, you can come down.
If this stair is no longer heavy for you and you're able to do a bunch of reps, if you're able to do 10 plus reps of it, drop it down. Right. And so
don't expect to be able to do 10 reps
Exactly. But it becomes a strength stimulus again.
Sure.
And so as long as we can keep clean technique, there's no situation where bad technique is good.
Sure. Yeah.
If you are choosing the situation, there is no situation where bad technique is good. There's no room for a bad rep. If you have to lift a car off of a baby, I don't give a crap what your position is. Doesn't matter. If you are choosing the situation, which no one would choose that situation. No. If you are choosing the situation, there is no good situation for a bad repetition.
Sure.
And so we're just
the priority is good, clean reps.
Yeah. Training
over everything.
Training in and of itself is not making you better. It's making you worse temporarily. That way you super compensate and actually like get better. I like that. Yeah. Straight up. Like you are, that's the soreness the next day. That's inflammation and damage prior. There's so much science to that. Physiologists are about to shoot me. But like there's all these signals the next day. This is why once you work out really hard one day, you don't perform well the next day. that's because you didn't make yourself better. You're better after the recovery process.
Right.
So you have to allow yourself to recover. So we are already inducing damage. We don't need to make it worse by doing it terribly.
Bad. Yeah.
So we need to induce controlled damage in order to improve ourselves.
And
does that say
is vomiting a signal?
I would say that it's a signal. Yes.
It's a bad signal, bro.
You've overdone.
Go drink some water.
What's the context? There's so many things that could cause it. If you're a strength workout should not make you vomit. I'll say that. Running, maybe.
Oh, let's say
if you're,
I definitely threw up in the Air Force.
Yeah. I've thrown up
it was bad caviar.
Twice.
I threw up.
I've thrown up twice because of a workout. Twice in my long time of training. Yeah. The first one, the one that I remember the most was overhydration. I drank too much.
Oh,
they were like, stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Yes, right.
Yeah. And then,
yeah.
Too much. We were doing sprints at the end of the workout, and it was terrible. It was all water. It was nasty.
That hurts.
Yeah. Just running around with soup in your stomach.
Yep.
It's terrible.
The sloshing.
Yep.
Where were we?
That's a good one.
Yeah, we've gotten a little off track, haven't we?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
It's good.
All right.
Thanks. Thanks, Vic.
So we've made the distinction from muscular endurance. We want to turn our strength into muscular endurance, but we're talking about strength today because that's what ultimately improves that. We need to also make the distinction away from power. So power is strength plus speed. Okay. So that's not the official mathematical. It's actually force times distance over time, right? It's the amount of work that you produce over time. That's the technical lowercase p power metric, right?
Yeah.
So you can look at that. So let's say if I lift a barbell and I lift it twice, let's say I lift the barbell 3 feet twice, right? That means I have positive distance, negative distance, positive distance, negative distance. And so that's 3 feet 4 times, correct?
Yeah.
I moved it 12 feet. There's my force times my distance.
Yeah.
I lifted X amount of weight for this amount of distance.
Sure.
Right. If I do that faster.
Yeah. Less time.
Power.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I do it in less time, that is higher amount of power.
Yep.
The problem is that's where ego steps in.
Sure.
Not everybody's ready to go faster. So that not everybody's ready to speed up the repetitions. Sometimes
because what are we going to sacrifice? Probably it's not going to be clean.
Exactly. We're going to start using shoddy technique. We'll start getting sloppy, start jerking the bar, which is obviously never good. We want to be in control at all times. If people that are high level in the fitness space have deep control issues, and it for good reason. You want to be able to control the load that you're doing, and that in and of itself is a strength stimulus. You mentioned how here you're strong, right here in the middle you're not. That is a strength stimulus in that range of motion.
Yeah.
And so improvement isn't just improvement on the number. Did you improve your subjective control of that
through that range,
that weight, that load, that task through that range of motion? Right. That is a strength stimulus. So strength is largely neurological. Control is neurological. The two go hand in hand.
And so that's where a lot of my issues are, is because I have, C5 and 4 collapsed.
Yeah.
The nerves are
angry.
Yes. and erratic.
Yep.
So at different distances, different things pinch.
Right.
And so,
yeah. So with my anatomy students, we'll talk about how the brain communicates with the musculature, and we'll talk about how the spinal cord will actually communicate. So these nerves are communicating with musculature and what to do, and it's the symphony.
Yeah.
And so if you have all of the instruments in a symphony play all at once, it probably doesn't sound good. If you say the same note all at once, it's just noise at one point, right?
Yeah.
In order to make something beautiful, they have to have a specific set specific set time that they play, a specific time signature, specific note, specific melody, harmony, all of that stuff. It all has to be in play.
Sure.
Your musculature is the exact same way. You have sections of your muscles that, okay, you have a string section, you have a horn section, you have a woodwind section, you have all of these things, And if they're not playing at the right time, that's when things get erratic, right?
Yeah, right.
If they are playing at the right time, that's when we can do things like punch someone really hard. We can also write our name. There's the huge difference between those, but each of them involve a massive amount of control. If it's punching someone in the face, it's that big note in a symphony, that like that noise, right? Which is very valuable. We send everything all at once. But if we're just trying to write our name and have control
And have all
in
that
everyday
nuance,
tasks, that's where the symphony, its melody, its harmony, it's so soft. It's wild how well that analogy works when you really start digging deep into it and then comparing it to the physiology. That it's wild how that works, how perfectly it fits. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here. So strength is a direct byproduct of how well that symphony can play. Okay. And so how loudly can that symphony play and play well is a direct determinant. There we go. Direct determinant of how well you can exert strength under skill. And so because everyone's strong under a barbell.
Yeah, right.
It's incredibly low skill. If we go back to the original thing that Ryan talked about with a specific task, having all this muscle, but then being kind of crappy at the job.
Dig a hole. You can't dig a hole.
That's where the symphony's not playing right.
Sure.
And so once we apply those skills, we have all of the parts. The symphony knows what it's supposed to do. It knows the parts. It knows the music. It knows the songs. Doesn't have to look at the sheets. Doesn't matter. Once they just begin to play louder, we're exerting more force, right? If they try to play loud and they're not already good at the song, that's where things become erratic.
Yeah.
And so,
I could crank that amp to 11.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that what comes out, it's nice.
Exactly. And so we want to be able to play loudly and play well.
Yeah.
We want the symphony of our musculature to play loud and play well.
Sure.
And so
I like that.
That's came up with that on the spot.
We're talking about
not the symphony example, but you
heard it here first.
Yeah. I'm here all day. But that's kind of the goal. There's a lot of goals whenever it comes to strength, but physiologically speaking, so kind of practical takeaway is taking that strength stimulus into a muscular endurance stimulus.
Right.
Physiology goal that we have is to have that symphony play well, right? Because we want to have that skill, but then we also want to be strong in that skill.
Sure. So, okay, would that be like, Vic had asked about Tai Chi, that range of motion.
Yeah, that's where that balance comes in. Yeah, that's where there is crossover there.
Yeah.
Because there is balance involved.
Sure.
And so if I exert control with my feet, we normally consider that balance. Because if I stand on one foot and I exert control with my feet, that's balance. Strength directly improves balance. Directly. That's why it's so brilliant for older adults. You can spend 5 minutes, everybody go on PubMed and spend 5 minutes looking at articles. I guarantee you, if you look at the correlation between muscular strength and bone density, correlation between muscular strength and balance, correlation between muscular strength and all-cause mortality. I hate that metric, but it's still valuable to look at.
Yeah.
Like strength is tip top, and if it's not, it's second. It's close second. It's so vitally important, and balance is a direct byproduct of strength. In fact, we often, like we in the fitness space, often we value balance, but oftentimes it's not the main thing that we're trying to improve, because we know that it will improve as people get stronger.
Because it's inherently
exactly.
Sure.
If we improve someone's control, if we improve their coordination, their balance will naturally improve. Now, with power, there's more skill involved. When we start moving things faster, the coordination demand kind of goes up, and so that's why we need to make that distinction. So, what does strength look like in different populations? That's we've kind of alluded to it throughout, which is nice. Again, strength is kind of relative, right? So, strength for me, I come from more of a sport performance setting. Sure. And if I want to get even more real world for that, personal interest is kind of tactical populations.
Yeah.
I want emergency personnel and military to perform better, because their jobs are literally life and death.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the video? There's kind of a viral video of, it was a soccer game. Sorry, football. There's a soccer game, and there was a dude that was having an actual medical emergency, not like a flop, like like an actual medical emergency. And
Nothing the spray
trainers
would make better.
The sideline, like the actual medical staff on the sideline, the trainers were kind of like grabbing all their stuff, and they're kind of shuffling over there, but it's like they weren't going fast enough, if you catch my drift.
Yes.
And so people from the soccer team ran to the trainers, grabbed the medical gear, and then ran back to the patient. Like they literally grabbed it, still beat them there. And so they traveled double the distance. And so that's kind of where my personal interest lies, because we want to be better protectors. We want to be better practitioners of whatever the heck we do, whether that's being a better husband, father, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, because again, that is life and death. So strength is going to be relative there. It is. So in my case, if I look at more tactical populations, are you strong enough to drag a body? Are you strong enough to carry your own weight and exert athletic motions in a gunfight? Are you able to do all of those things? I've never been in a gunfight, so I can't attest to that. However, I have been relatively mildly athletic for most of my life.
Yeah.
So we can merge those two things. With like homesteading, for instance, are you strong enough to complete the daily tasks that you are aiming to complete?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that is real, and that becomes more real as you get older, because it's like, man, that thing, it felt heavier than it used to.
Yeah.
We don't want to get to that point.
Yeah.
We want to delay that as long as we possibly can. If we're having to pick up a bucket of soil to go plant something, we don't want that to be heavy yet.
Right.
We want it to be heavy tomorrow, not today. That's that's kind of what we're aiming for in terms of we want to be able to maintain productivity, and strength is the foundation of productivity in that regard. And so the stronger we get, the better I can drag a body, the better we can carry bags of sand or soil or whatever we're trying to move, tools, whatever it is. If we find someone broken down on the side of the street, can you push their car out of the way? That is a strength metric. Strength is vital. So in terms of different populations, it's going to look different for a current or just recently former Navy SEAL than it does for grandma.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And that's going to, both of those are going to look different for someone who's in sport right now. So like if I have my college athletes,
right,
their lives look very, very different than someone who's in the military, than someone who's doing homesteading, than someone who's in a nursing home. And so strength is relative for all of those. It's a scientific wonder. There is what is called old man strength. That is a thing. That is a thing. Some people have it, some people don't. Pray about it. I don't know. That's all I can. That's all. That's the only advice I have.
I was going to stop you for a minute and just mention that, like, from a homesteading perspective and preparedness perspective as well, you know, the reality is that the more strength you have, the more efficient you can be.
Mm-hmm.
So by that, I mean, think of the analogy of like a ladder that takes you 20 feet up, and how much longer it would take you if you had to take a wheelchair ramp because you couldn't climb the ladder.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So like I can climb that ladder in a tenth of the time of if I'm trying to run up the ramp at a low, you know. And so when we're thinking about moving something or taking shovels full of something, or, you know, whatever it is we're doing, you know, as we lose strength or don't have enough strength, we're actually crippling ourselves in efficiency, not just in, you know, feeling good about how much we can lift.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in obviously in the preparedness side, it's like, you know, if things go really south, or you're in a position where you need to lift a body out of somewhere, you don't have 3 months to train to do that. You had to do that before the thing happened.
Yep. There was oh shoot, I can't. get into the cheesy YouTubers here for just a second. I want to say it's Nick Bear that said it first. So Bear Performance, he's one of the people that kind of spearheaded the whole hybrid training thing. It's literally just bodybuilding and running.
That's all it is.
They're mixing strength training. I belittle it a little bit out of jealousy because he's huge and jacked and awesome.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Straight up. But he runs like a negative 10-minute mile. I don't understand. He's so fast. Dude's crazy. So everything negative I say is purely out of jealousy. So if by some miracle he sees this, but he mentioned this idea of being 8 weeks out from anything. Just like, okay,
plan on.
And so I have in our notes mentioned the guys from GBRS, and it's like from, if you Google them, they're a bunch of former military, some current military, or they consult with them. Big tactical group. How I got kind of connected, they have no idea who I am. How I got kind of connected with GBRS is their head strength coach, Vernon Griffith, is one of the best on the internet, period. Okay. So like, and I say the internet, not because that's a cop out, but because that's how people see his content.
Sure.
Before I got rid of social media in 2020, I was still following him, and GBRS had not been founded yet. Sure. And so I was following him before GBRS was a thing.
Nice.
So Vernon Griffith is incredible. And what I do each week is a variant of what their program looks like at GBRS. And so the main face of the business, DJ Shipley, again, giant.
Yes.
Again, purely out of jealousy for everything except for the SIG 320.
Yeah.
Quit that.
Yeah. No.
Goofball. SIG's paying him. That's but he kind of either he said the 8 weeks out thing first. They were both talking. It was a video, and they were both talking about they want to be 8 weeks out from anything. If I was given 8 weeks to run a marathon, I've got it. If I was given 8 weeks to perform this task, I've got it. We want to be physically prepared enough to do that. And if you have some requisite, we'll talk about standards of strength here in a minute, but if we have some requisite strength level there, we're 8 weeks out from anything, right? And so that's kind of where my mind goes, and then
that's a really attainable goal.
Exactly.
Like, 2 months, I can do whatever.
Something.
2 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I'm given 2 months to prepare, more than likely I'm going to be able to at least do that thing. And now there's obviously outliers. I'm not saying you can go out and run 100 miles.
No ultra marathons.
No, don't do that.
Reasonable.
Try that. But yeah, reasonable. Like if
health. I mean, like losing weight, eating better, being physically active.
Yep. If you can give a solid 8 weeks to almost anything, which most people can't in today's society, and I'm preaching to the choir, like I'm in that boat. Like that's hard to stay consistent because most of those things are on the other side of a little bit of struggle.
Yeah.
And so
because it comes down to discipline as opposed to motivation.
Right.
We lose motivation real quick.
The way we cheat our way out of it, though, if we have strength that's high enough, if we have fitness that's high enough already,
it's good enough.
That margin is much smaller. I don't have to improve this much. I only have to improve this much.
Sure.
And so that's kind of what we're trying to do. So as far as efficiency goes, I love the efficiency idea, especially for practicality, because if you're not dragging bodies, or if you're not lifting crazy amounts of weight, like that is life. That is being able to do everyday tasks more efficiently is quite literally everyday life. And so that's kind of the name of the game for most of our general population that's listening, that doesn't have other interests. If you have other interests, like if you have personal fitness goals, if you're at least generally healthy, and let's say you want to run a 5K in X amount of time, your training's going to look a different way because of that.
Yes.
However, if you have prerequisite strength, that is possible. If you don't have prerequisite strength, we have to cross a lot of bridges, go through a lot of hoops to get to that point to where we can confidently say, okay, in this amount of time, you'll be able to run that 5K. And so that's why I keep saying strength is the foundation. So again, for different populations, that's going to look different. Grandma, her strength, sit to stands. That's the biggest thing. Can she lift a gallon of milk out of the fridge and pour it on her own? That is a strength stimulus.
Sure.
Because I mean, you hear people like post surgery, they're not allowed to lift a gallon of milk. Okay, so let's say the strongest man in the world has surgery. Is he not allowed to lift a gallon of milk? That's such a minuscule, like,
yeah, right.
And so that analogy is a relative strength thing. So grandma, that's a large percentage of her maximal strength. And so if you have someone who's in homesteading or the preparedness space, moving the buckets of like dried meals and stuff like that, like if that stuff's heavy for you, we want to get to the point where it's not. That way it's more efficient whenever you're actually loading it places, right?
I remember that there was the commercial,
especially in a crappy situation.
Right. Yeah. Years ago, it was this grandpa in the garage lifting this weight over and over and over for the whole year. And then you get to the very last scene and it's him picking up his grandson.
Yes.
And he was prepping for the ability to just lift up his grandson and hold him up. Like, dude,
so
wrecked me.
my second job, I work with kids. And I work in the school age program at a local daycare thing. So I work at the university and then I do that in the afternoons. So during the summer, I'm with them the full time. And in my mind, we'll see when this actually happens. In my mind, I keep telling myself I can like confidently retire when I lose in a race. If one of those kids who's 6th grade or younger can beat me in a race,
done.
I'm done.
You're not going to be the fat PE teacher.
No,
I refuse. No. And I I want to be able to play with my kids someday. I want to be able to wrestle and shoot. I don't want my kids to win. Like,
well, that's what
joke. They need to learn how to lose.
When I think it was when Rona was born, I was about 235. And that was what kicked it over it's like, I'm tired at the end of the day and I can't get down on the floor and play with my kids. We're not doing this. And I think I dropped to like 167 in about 6 months. I was just like, no, we're not doing this.
Like can you play a game of kickball cold?
Right.
Or do you does that make you anxious? And there's like people in the comments right now, they're like, yeah, please don't ask me to do that. I'll ask my college students that. So my seniors, they're in the thick of doing specific things. And I'm like, I call it, I'm kind of stealing a term from Dr. Kelly Starrett. He writes one of the textbooks that we use. How good is your movement vocabulary? And it's like, sometimes we haven't used certain vocabulary words in years.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like there's certain words we just don't use. Right. Or don't know what they mean. And it's like, if we use certain movements as vocabulary words, when was the last time you used that vocabulary word? When was the last time you threw a ball? When was the last time you kicked a ball? Right. And so I have I have college students that could not remember the last time they kicked a ball. And it's like, they've been so caught up in work, in school, and rent, and all of these things, drinking, all of those things, they've been so caught up in those that it's like just basic skills that we took for granted as kids that your kids are going to ask you to do.
My kid, we were walking down to the shop and he's like, hey dad, skip with me. And I'm just like, when was the last time I skipped?
Everyone needs to go on the internet, look up videos of old people trying to skip. And not even old people, because you're not old, but like not even old.
I didn't even take it that way, but thanks.
Middle-aged.
Just look up millennials.
It's
trying to skip.
Yeah, it's viral. It is hilarious.
Oh no.
It is wonderful. I can confidently say I know how to skip quite well. I did play kickball today, so my movement vocabulary is way high. I did a cartwheel today.
Ooh, cartwheel.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's been years.
Yep.
That's been many presidents.
So I'm not very strong. But that is my athletic prowess. Is I can move quite well. I'm decently strong compared to other people my size. I'm rather strong.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did somersaults down the hill with my kids recently.
You felt
Nice.
that the next
Very
day.
dizzy. No, it didn't. It did not cause any muscular
good.
strain issues, but
Good.
so dizzy after
Good.
that. Yeah.
I remember doing jujitsu for a couple years. That you do feel the next day, but some of the warm-ups involve rolling in different ways, and you get super dizzy at the end of them. And it's like, once you do it consistently, that dizziness just disappears. Like your body can adapt to it.
Sure.
And so,
unless your eustachian tubes are messed up, but
yeah. You just
whole other
you
issue.
just skip that drill.
Yeah.
But
So you're telling me I need to do more somersaults?
100% more somersaults, more cartwheels.
More just playing with the kids.
What about log rolls down the hill? Those as well?
Those are the best. Makes
me want to throw up.
No, honestly, that I've seen that be used as a punishment for football players. It is the funniest thing in the world, because like you get them dizzy and then they go sprint. It's just like
or
dude,
the
it's horrendous. Dude, wrestling warm-ups are intense. There's a lot of cartwheels. There's a lot of, like, you get used to being dizzy, and it's because you have to understand your body in space,
and
comparatively speaking to others. It's pretty intense. So where were we?
I don't remember.
I'm a master at getting off topic. ADHD is real.
I like to help.
Yeah.
That's my job tonight.
So the question I initially answered was, what does strength look like in different populations? I'm looking at the notes here. So this is we kind of get caught up in the wrong thing. Again, I want it clear that if you have access to a gym, go to the gym.
Sure.
I'm not asking you to like turn your entire life upside down to go to the gym.
Right.
But if you have access to a well-fitted gym, or you have the financial means to make one in your home, do it. It is a life-changing thing, because strength is so important. That and that's such a cop out. Like I can't.
It's easier to have those metrics when you have all of the
specific. And like, you have options.
I can lift 6 cans of
right
soup, but like it gets real cumbersome when you go over.
Exactly. And at some point you can only jerry rig your way through things to and it's fun to do that. It's fun to figure it out. Genuinely, it is genuinely fun and interesting to figure that out. But at a certain point, gallons of milk aren't going to do it, or gallons of water, because that would be weird to do it with milk outside the fridge. But like gallons of water at a certain point.
There you go. That's right.
If like gallons of water at some point, for most people, unless you're really up in age, or you actually do have some joint dysfunctions or something, or you're coming back from injury or something like that, most of the time that's going to get generally too light. And I think people are surprised when they do it. I especially think older populations that didn't grow up with the gym. We are in a generation that grew up with the gym.
Yeah.
And because most of our older adults are closer to the in age to the people that made the gym popular.
Yeah.
I.e. Arnold.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno, Hulk movies. Like all of those guys that you see on TV back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Many older adults are the same age.
Yep.
And so they think, when they think strength, they think something unattainable because they see Arnold. And so, and I want us to get away from that. I want us to think of that efficiency that we've mentioned multiple times. Like, are you strong enough to do things efficiently?
Yeah.
And again, the way we improve that is improving maximal strength. You can improve that by doing some repetitions, but doing repetitions does have a ceiling. If I get to the point to where a push-up is really, really easy for me, and I just continue doing the same number of push-ups, let's say I do 50 push-ups.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a strength stimulus. Maybe it's really heavy that last time. If I do 50 push-ups every day for a year, day 10 is going to look very, very different than day 365.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's not as much of a stimulus on 365 than there is there towards the end. So
Jack LaLanne.
So that's kind of what I want this whole thing to be about is if you have access to a gym, I don't care how old you are,
Yeah.
get in there.
Sure.
Because let's say if we have someone who's 90-year-old watching this, you do not understand the amount of love that person is going to receive walking into a gym.
Oh, heck yeah.
The amount, like everyone thinks the gym is like this judgmental place. No, it's not. That is the most encouraging place. And
Yeah,
now
'cause
there are obviously horror stories.
Oh, always.
Obviously,
Yeah.
there's always going to be horror stories in certain places. But if you see someone actually go into the gym and they're just pouring sweat and trying to improve themselves, that person is getting exponentially more respect than they realize. They may hate themselves in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone around them is taking notice of the work that they're putting in. And so if you have access to a gym, take encouragement in that. That is the most encouraging place you can go. The most judgmental thing that you can go is the mirror. Like that's the judgmental place is the mirror.
Yeah.
The gym is going to be, I understand the gym has mirrors, but the gym is going to be very encouraging. You're going to have people that genuinely want to help.
They want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the gym wants everyone to be jacked.
Right.
This isn't, it's like it's so easy to share that. It's so easy. Like,
isn't it bad that how positive an environment that is as opposed to church?
Dude,
because you should see the same.
I've made that illusion. Why is it so easy to share that, and then we get hung up on the gospel? That's such a convicting thing to me, especially because I literally teach this crap for a living. and what I do, I have not mentioned the university that I teach at. They kind of I do not represent the beliefs of the university that I teach at. Blah, 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 blah. I don't. Yeah. I try to sprinkle in kind of like little things here and there.
Sure. But you're really limited being that you're an employee of.
Now, thankfully, the department that I work in and the people that I'm in it and the fact that I'm in the South, that helps.
I imagine.
But it's like at the same time, that's also convicting because it's like, should it be easy?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, did Christ call for it to be easy?
No.
And so
he said, "I hate you."
There's been some harder moments where I kind of pushed some boundaries, which is good. And I've needed Jesus in those for sure, but as always, but yeah, off topic again. So again, I want everyone to go to the gym if you have it. If you don't have it, try to make one. Try to make something. I remember when I was living at home with my parents. My dad and I made a bunch of stuff, and that was fun. Like we made different gym equipment.
Nice.
Like we made a pull-up bar. We made a 12-foot tall rig that we hung gymnastics rings off of, and I was swinging in our concrete driveway, zero padding below me, because I like to live life on the edge. It's a wonder I'm here. But like that. That was genuinely beneficial to my fitness walk, if you will. And so I want everyone I'm not asking for everyone to have a passion about it, but I do want everyone to have a passion about taking care of themselves because we're called to.
Yeah.
And it's like love your neighbor as yourself. That involves loving yourself first and taking care of yourself first. And so are you strong enough to love your neighbor? If loving your neighbor means helping them move furniture, are you strong enough to do that?
Sure.
Like that's a good way of looking at it. And so I don't want us to just get sucked into the bench press idea. I love bench press and it's valuable. Pursue it. Go bench, go get jacked. But that's not the only thing. There are other things. I remember before my grandmother passed away, my mom would call me to lift my grandmother up out of the floor because she had fallen in the middle of the night.
Oh.
And so we would arrive to check on her that next morning. And so she's sitting there basically more often than not because she couldn't get to the bathroom in time.
Sure. Yep.
You catch my drift. I would have to lift her and carry her. Like and it's not dead weight, but it's like it's human body's awkward.
Yep.
And so like there are things, strength and love go really, really hand in hand. And so, are you strong enough to do things that love others?
Yeah. Well, we're called to be stewards
Exactly.
of everything that we've been given.
Yeah.
Bodies included.
Yeah. And so for me, selfishly, strength is probably one of the easiest ones because that's the one for me that's the most fun to develop.
Sure.
Cardio, on the other hand, that's another podcast. That one sucks.
That one sucks.
I usually, if I want cardio, I just lift things faster or more often. I try not to run too often. I need to run. But
if I'm running, try to keep up because there's something chasing me.
Exactly.
Only the wicked run when nothing is chasing them.
Proverbs, nice, like it.
Yeah.
On
sickos.
On the thought of being a blessing, being what we're called to be, as men, in one sense, that I think that's probably easier for us to grasp. Like we need to be strong, like strong men who are capable of great violence, but are good men
100%.
are what knit our society together. And without that, when men are weak, things fall apart. Or when men aren't good, they're strong but not good. Those two things need to go together, and it's vital. But I think it's important for women as well to think about this, because it's easy for me to go, I need to protect my family. I need to be able to take care of things when they come up. But at the same time, for everyone's benefit, being healthy, being strong, at least strong for your given circumstance, is so vital. And it really is something that we're called to. It's stewardship of our own bodies, as opposed to stewardship of the land that that's kind of my realm, the thing that I really talk about and think about a lot. But our bodies are, and I think this gets overused and underused at the same time. But as a Christian, my body is the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right. And Twinkies and Ho-Hos are not a or Oreos or whatever makes people upset.
Hey, easy there. I didn't come here for conviction.
Sorry, I'll shut up. But yeah, I mean,
iron sharpens iron.
We take care of our bodies as a representation of being grateful for what we've been given and the strength that we can have. I think it's so easy just to whatever. Like, I'll love people, but we don't necessarily correlate being strong and being capable with being loving towards others.
I want to add, like, kind of capitalize on two things that you said there. So the first point was being capable of great violence, but then basically subduing it to love. And so I have this tattoo on my arm, this very quick tangent. It's a reminder to be Christ-like, because in my mind, the way I process things, this is the most Christ-like thing there is. So it's the Greek word for meek. So MEEK. From Matthew 5:5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. If you look deeper into that word, it doesn't just mean humble. It's a deeper word than that. Humble is kind of the tip of the iceberg. And so that word originally comes from horse training. And so when you break a horse, does that horse lose its ability?
No,
it's just under control.
Where
does a crocodile or an alligator, because they do the same things, where do they carry their young?
On the back?
In their mouth.
In the mouth?
In the most dangerous part of the animal, they carry it in the mouth. It doesn't lose the ability. It's depending on how you use it. The reminder to be Christ-like is to subdue yourself to love. You're not losing your ability. You are using your abilities for those around you. Christ humbled himself to the cross. He could have pulled himself off the cross. He didn't. He chose to subdue it. He had the ability to come off the cross, and he chose not to. And so that being capable of great violence, but being a really, really good husband is like this wonderful balance, right? Pick on GBRS again. We'll come. Golly, I'm going to mention GBRS a couple times. They have this phrase: dials, not switches. Again, it's theirs. It's not mine. Dials, not switches. We're not switching the tactical mind on or off. We're not switching the husband mind on or off. We're not switching the wife mind on or off. We are dialing it down. There's certain situations where we need more situational awareness, so we dial it up. There's certain situations where I need to be a better husband, so I dial that up and dial the situational awareness down, right?
Sure.
So instead of dials, instead of switches, we want dials. And so it kind of alludes to that a little bit. On the women's side of things, women need this strength because not only do they need to be protectors, especially in a single mother home, right? If we look in certain parts of the country, there's a huge percentage of single motherhood. And so they need that. When a woman gets pregnant, the amount of calcium in their body, your skeletal system, exactly. Your skeletal system is a storage system, right? Your body loves calcium. It is used in every major system in your body, not just your bones.
No.
It is used in every major system, your muscle, your mind, everything. When you have a woman that gets pregnant, you're now supporting a new skeleton, a new mind, new musculature, new heart, new nervous system, everything.
Right.
And so women, especially pregnant, or post-pregnancy, so postpartum, they're way, way more susceptible to osteoporosis than other women their age, right? Once you climb in age, most people know this one. As you climb in age, most women are more susceptible to osteoporosis and osteopathy in general, so dysfunction, than men. Usually, at a certain age, everyone's susceptible, but it's earlier onset with women. So with women, strength is a huge deal because it offsets that. It offsets that. So when we apply that mechanical stress, I can't remember the exact number, but I want to say it's like for every month that an astronaut is in space, they lose like 10% of bone mass or something like
something
that.
ridiculous.
It's outrageous.
And they're exercising up there.
Yeah,
and their nutrients are
maybe not 10. If you do the math, that's ridiculous. But it is an enormous amount. The number is shocking once you actually start thinking about it. And so, because there is no gravitational pull, there's no mechanical stress on the skeleton, your body does not see the structure in the skeleton as needed when you don't use it, and so it uses that calcium in other places where it is needed, because you don't need to be strong at all times of the day. Your heart does need to beat at all times of the day.
Sure.
And so your body will actually take things from the heart. So in women, it is massively important to be strong because we have to have that mechanical stress. And people that are sedentary, we have to be strong because we're losing that mechanical stress. This is why we get weaker when we sit at a desk all day. For older adults, they've stopped moving because things begin hurting. When they stop moving, things hurt worse. It's a slippery slope. Then your bones lose density. The rate of mortality after a broken hip due to osteoporosis skyrockets. Like, your likelihood of dying nearly doubles after the age of 70 after a broken hip. Again, the numbers are astonishing. These are not my numbers.
And the likelihood of a fall resulting in a broken hip is way higher if you don't have the strength and the balance.
Exactly. And so all of this ties in together, and we can't stress this enough. When in the notes kind of have, when does strength need to be on the back burner? So strength is never a weakness. That's an old Mark Bell quote. Strength is never a weakness, right? You can never be too strong. That's not a thing. Even for the strongest men in the world, that's not a thing. The only time they're, quote, too strong is the fact that they're strong enough to actually injure themselves. Most people in this world are not strong enough to actually like snap their spine in half. You know, like you're just not. You're strong enough to hurt yourself, but not like end your life. Those guys are strong enough to end their lives. They're strong enough to kill themselves.
That's wild.
And it's nuts. It's crazy. That's a whole different conversation. But when does strength need to be on the back burner? That's kind of a little bit harder of a question. Let's say that you don't have the mobility to get into a position well enough to exert strength. That's maybe when we need to hit mobility a little bit quicker.
Sure.
Okay. Let's say you are trying to improve your strength, but you're not recovering quickly. if you're not recovering quickly or you're not recovering in a reasonable time frame, if you're sore for weeks, that's not a good thing. That's not normal, right?
Gotcha. Sure.
You can maintain strength with stimuli that happens once a week. You can maintain strength quite well. Like there's certain movements. I squat once a week. Like I squat heavy once a week, and I'm getting stronger.
Yeah.
like you can do once a week as long as the intent is there. However, if my cardiovascular system is not good enough, I will not recover. The bout may be anaerobic. It may be really intense. It may be a lot of damage involved. That's good. The recovery process is aerobic. That's where your cardiovascular system comes in. We need to make sure that we can actually recover from the bouts that we're doing. So those are the situations where strength may need to take a back seat.
Sure.
The vast majority of the time, though, strength needs to be at the forefront. The vast majority of the time, because you can work on your cardio and your strength at the same time. Because there's multiple ways to skin the cat. You can improve your mobility with strength. You can improve your mobility with certain movements and certain techniques, stuff like that. Again, I run entire classes off of this.
Right.
And so it gets kind of it gets a little long-winded. But those are kind of the main two ways. If you're unable to recover, we need to put strength on the back burner. If you are immobile, meaning you can't let's say if you can't squat properly, I don't care about you adding a barbell. Your first priority is getting a bare air squat.
Sure.
That's it. Like I want you to be able to bend your knees. That's all I care about. Bend your hips, bend your knees. That's what I care about. And so if you're just starting out, for some people listening, that may be your starting point.
Mm-hmm.
So your strength is the end goal, but your starting point may need to be mobility mixed in with some strength stimulus. And so, again, mobility is going to be going to be, again, a whole separate episode. And that's going to be more technique based. We might need to do something hands-on for that. But that's kind of where it goes. So what should our strength be at? If you are a healthy adult, your strength is going to look some kind of different. I want everyone to have the strength to be able to do a squat controlled.
Okay.
That's a big deal. That's just a bare squat. You would be surprised. You would be surprised. That's where mobility comes in, though. If you have decent mobility, I'm not saying let's say it's not perfect, but you're there. You can exert strength, and it's like, okay, it's not completely painful, right? You can exert some force there, and we start ramping it up. I want you to be able to squat your body weight. That's a big jump. I totally understand. There's a huge spectrum of level between being able to do a basic air squat, which is like a sit to stand without the chair, right? All the way to putting your body weight on a barbell and squatting that. That's a big deal, right? And so for a lot of people, what that will look like if you actually put that into practice is they'll start working out, they'll actually lose weight. And then so that body weight metric actually decreases.
Yeah.
So you actually you're actually moving the goalpost a little bit, which is nice. But that's a good kind of starting point.
Okay.
And I think for the upper body, being able to do a very, very clean push-up is really valuable. Like being able to do that relatively pain-free.
Sure.
Because if you're strong enough, it's probably not going to hurt unless there is some actual like dysfunctions, like
physiological reason
damage, right? Because again, injury history is going to change everyone's experience. Yep. So I can talk about this till I'm blue in the face. Everyone's going to have a different experience, and that's why I have that big range for that squat. For the push up, it's going to be the same way. Can you bench press your body weight?
Sure.
That's a big deal. There's such a huge gap. But you'd be surprised how quickly strength comes on, especially if you've never introduced it before. I know how to push through a heavy repetition. Most people do not know how to do that. Once they learn how to do that, your rate of improvement is so much faster. I can work out for a year and only see marginal improvements in certain lifts, But people that are brand new to training, their
We'll see
lifts are going to
huge
go
gains.
up 300%.
Yeah.
Like they're going to triple their lifts. And that's why I was mentioned that like that 225 bench press.
Yeah.
Like you see high schoolers doing that, and it's because they're brand spanking new. It's like I didn't do bench press consistently. I've always done it, but it's never been consistent until like the past 2 years.
Oh,
And so it's like I've seen
okay.
like huge increase in my bench press specifically, but like my squat has been just like
because you've done that for
I've done it for years and years
Yeah.
and years. So it's the law of diminishing returns.
Yes.
And there's also a genetic ceiling idea that the closer you get to your genetic ceiling, like Usain Bolt trained for 4 years to decrease his time by like 1/10 of a second.
Yep.
And it's like in track and field terms, that's huge, but
Huge
like
amount,
for
but
us,
not-
it's tiny. So
Sure.
again, the strength standards are going to move depending on your current training status. So have you been to the gym before? Have you not? Have you trained before? Have you done a fitness program? Have you not? Are you injured? Were you injured? What injury was it? If you got hit by a car and you snapped your femur, that's a very different injury than breaking your wrist when you were in middle school.
Yeah.
That's very different. So everyone's injury history is very, very different. Mobility demands very different. If you sit at a desk versus someone who stands, both of those are stagnant positions that neither of them are good for you if you're doing them for long periods of time, but it's different.
They're bad in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. It's different taxes on the body. So again, all of this is going to be different. If you are healthy and you are you don't have any major things, let's see if I can find it. I should have had it pulled up. That's a lack of preparation on my part. Let's see here. I have a picture of it. So we have, again, mentioning the kind of GBRS standards they put out, and this is these are the standards that Vernon Griffith came up with. So they have 3 tiers. Found it. They have 3 tiers, and there is the standard. So that's kind of like the bar. That's kind of where we want to get to, right? And this is going to include standards that cover all elements of fitness. It's not just strength.
Okay.
But like we said, certain things require requisite strength.
Sure.
So like I'll talk about the strength ones first and how they correlate to the others. But the standard, so the first tier that they present, and again, this is on their website. They have YouTube videos. Like, this is public stuff. I'm not stealing anything from them. I'm advertising.
Yeah, right.
Call me. So you have several different. You almost treat it like the combine, like NFL combine. There's certain things that they're testing.
Okay.
And so they have the standard tier, they have the elite tier, and they have their quote, be a pro. I just say pro because it's a mouthful. So as far as like true strength metrics, the trap bar deadlift, it's a deadlift. You're picking something up off the ground. That's kind of the truest metric of strength. And so their standard. So like the bottom tier, if you are a healthy adult that doesn't have any dysfunction, this is something for you to chase. This is what you want to get to. This is the first thing. You want to be able to deadlift your body weight, 1.5 times your body weight. So you can kind of do the math there for 5 reps.
Ooh.
So 1.5. So if I weigh, stand by, math time. If I weigh 165 times 1.5 equals, that standard is lifting 245 if you want to do
5 reps.
Yeah. The exact math is 247, but no one wants to put that on a barbell. That's weird.
Yeah.
So 245 5 times.
All right.
That I mean, for a lot of people, that sounds very, very unattainable, and it might be. But again, like we said earlier, strength is relative.
Yeah.
Right. Strength is relative. We want to be strong enough to actually be able to apply those skills that we know and love. And it's like circling it all the way back. If I have the skill, that guy that we talked about that couldn't dig a hole, he had all the muscles in the world, but he didn't have the skill to actually use the musculature that he had. and it hadn't been trained in that specific way. I guarantee you he was not doing anything muscular endurance wise for his spine for digging a trench or whatever he was digging in that situation.
Sure.
Right. It's
Yeah.
a different movement.
Yeah.
And so the more that we can apply strength and fitness to those areas that we actually see in everyday life, instead of focusing on muscle groups, we want to focus on movements, the better. Let's see, going back to this, stand by, lost it for just a split second. There we go. So my phone is spazzing out. There we go. So deadlifting 1.5 times body weight for 5 reps. The elite tier is 1.75 times body weight.
Okay.
And then the Be a Pro is double your body weight for 5, right? So bench press, that's the next closest for a strength thing. So it's body weight for reps. They don't go up in weight, but they do test your reps. So it's really a muscular endurance thing, but you have to be able to bench your body weight in the first place.
Sure.
That's the strength metric. And so their standard is 10 reps at body weight. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a very high bar for just the bottom tier, in my opinion, for most people.
Yeah.
But again, they're kind of catering this a little bit more towards operators.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of gets outside. I think deadlifting your body weight that much, I think people would surprise themselves how strong they could actually get. But bench press, especially with how prevalent shoulder issues are, even if you do it with good technique, sometimes it just hurts.
Yeah.
Depending on what you've dealt with in the past. Standard is 10 reps, elite is 15 reps, Be a Pro is 20 reps.
Wow.
Like I got 20 reps by the skin of my teeth. And so like it was the nastiest repetition of bench press that I've ever done on that 20th rep. It was awful. Pull-ups. The vast majority of people in this world cannot do a pull-up. They cannot pull themselves over.
One? Oh,
you would be, oh my gosh, you would be surprised. If we went to Tech's campus right now, all of these young people that are supposedly healthy, the vast majority of them cannot do a single pull-up.
Wow.
I guarantee you, if we put a pull-up bar out on the quad and made everyone test, more than half of them wouldn't be able to. All these nerdy engineering students, they can't do it. They can't do it. I forever, I've wanted to do a dodgeball tournament against other departments. So teachers and students just send it exercise science versus the world.
Yeah, right.
It would be awesome. So yeah, pull-ups, that's the strength standard. Are you strong enough to do a single pull-up? Once you get there, we want to transfer that into muscular endurance, and that's what this test is about.
Sure.
And so pull-ups for reps, 10 is the standard, 15 is elite,
20.
over 20 is the pro. Let's see. And then broad jump, that's where we get into that power aspect.
Sure.
Are you strong enough to actually propel your body weight to distance?
Okay.
Like, can you squat? First of all, that's a big thing. Can you squat violently? That's ultimately what that's ultimately what that is. It's a very violent squat outwards, right? And so you're jumping outwards. And so I almost guarantee most of the people listening to this haven't jumped in a while.
Probably true.
And so especially not maximally. A lot of people just stop jumping. They stop sprinting. And so there are strength elements to those. And so farmers carry body weight distance in feet. And so can you carry your body weight in in a farmer's carry? So farmer's carry is a cop-out movement created by people in the gym that have never been on the farm. But it's where you take 2 dumbbells or a trap bar, something that you're holding parallel beside you. You're holding it like a suitcase. Yeah. In fact, if you do only 1 dumbbell at a time, it's literally called the suitcase carry. Oh. That's my favorite. But farmers carry.
Yeah, they're asymmetrical. And
you got to challenge it. Yeah. Balance for days. Right. 175 feet with your body weight. So me, I'd be carrying 165 pounds. So 80 something pounds in each hand. And then I'd carry it for 175, 225 is elite, 250 and up is pro. That's pretty far.
That is.
So each of these, like they have this prerequisite strength. Again, this is catered towards operators. I understand not everybody listening is operator. Yeah. However, it gives you a kind of a good idea of like, okay, can I pull hard? Can I push hard? Yeah. Can I pick something up that's heavy? That applies to deadlift and farmer's carry.
Pull myself up.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there's so much there, and I don't want to just be preaching GBRS the entire time, because a lot of people just don't give a crap. But like I truly do, I truly do think that these things need to be pursued, and whether you meet these standards or not, that doesn't matter. That's not the point.
No.
The point is improvement.
Yep.
The point is improvement so that you can be more efficient. The point is to improve your strength so that you can be more efficient in your life, so that you can do more work in less time on the homestead, that you can be more prepared, that way you can take fewer trips in the house after you get groceries.
Right.
Right.
It's only one trip.
Exactly.
It's only
exactly.
ever one trip.
I want to be so strong that
You can't do it in one trip.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out how many gallons of raw whole milk it would take to do the farmer's carry
body weight
for my body weight.
Just start taking the cow with you at that point. like
just throw it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Have y'all heard the Milo of? He's some like Greek like thing. Is this myth, and it's so the idea is like the very first thing, and I skipped it. The idea is progressive overload. So circling it back, I mentioned improvement. Cool, it works. So the goal is to improve, right? We want to be more efficient. We want to gradually introduce ourselves to more than we are accustomed to.
Right.
That is ultimately what progressive overload is. Progressive refers to this idea that we are gradually, systematically increasing whatever it is. That increase is the overload. And so overload refers to more than we are accustomed. So if I've done 100 push-ups, 50 push-ups is no longer overload.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
if you can't do 2 push-ups, then
exactly. So if I can do 5 push-ups and I can confidently do 5 push-ups, overload is to either do them faster, do them with better technique, or do more.
Sure.
That's overload. And so I need to systematically do that. The goal, the ultimate goal above all else, is progressive overload, because you're ultimately improving, right? If we apply progressive overload, we turn that strength stimulus into a muscular endurance stimulus, right? So circling back to everything we said earlier, all of these things that we've talked about thus far happen if we apply progressive overload. That's the key. Our 85-year-olds, our 90-year-olds, those sit to stands go from 1 rep that's a struggle bus to 5 reps that are actually kind of clean and don't give your younger family members an aneurysm. like
the shaky.
Yeah. Like have 50th anniversary. Dude. Who for FCC?
Oh yeah.
I was watching everybody, man. Like
yeah.
Everybody was shaky. Man, I stood at the back. I'm like, crap, I'm gonna have to do CPR today, man. Like, this is ridiculous. Hopefully none of them watch this. They don't know what YouTube is. Some of them. I bet she stays up. I bet he does. He would like that joke. He would like that. He's got thick skin. Yeah. So again, progressive overload is the name of the game.
Sure.
That's where we're going. Right. So these standards, yes, they're nice, but they're ultimately just milestones. They're not like the end all be all. They're not like, okay, I got here, so I'm done.
Yeah. Right.
It's like me, for example, broad jump, I've got the pro. Bench press, I've got the pro. Pull-ups, I've got the pro. Deadlift, I think I have the pro, if I remember correctly. Plank, that one was easy. Farmer's carry, got it. The only one I haven't tested is an 800-meter run, and it's because I don't want to run a half mile. That just sucks. It hurts, and I'm a wuss. But and it's like, I don't say that to tout it. I'm saying that because my job isn't done. I'm still trying to improve.
Oh yeah.
It's like I've met the standards,
right?
But I'm still trying to improve. I'm still trying to build on those. So like, yeah, I bench my body weight for 20 reps. I want to bench 10 pounds more than my body weight for 20 reps. That's my next goal.
Sure.
Or send that 225 for as many reps, whatever it is. I want to broad jump further. I want to have a higher vertical. Like right. I want my vertical to surpass my age. That's my active goal right now. Sure. Like literally, I want my vertical in inches to surpass my age in years each year for as long as I possibly can.
Sure.
Genuinely.
And having those metrics, like you can't monitor your capabilities if you don't have those metrics.
Exactly.
So that's where having the gym is really important.
Keeping track of your workouts, keeping track of what you do.
Having a diary or something.
100%. I have a running Google Doc, and I can show it to Jared because he's here. I have a running Google Doc of workouts that I basically like loaded in, and like I press enter a bunch of times to where it lowers it, and then I put in each new day. So
Nice.
I have this log.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And it's just a running log. I can access that from my computer. I can access that anywhere.
That's
and
cool.
I can press, or I can do like the search and replace function.
Right.
I can search bench press. I can see every time that I've done bench press, every weight. And so if I do something that was like kind of surprising in the weight room, was that a personal record? I can go check.
You can go check it
quickly.
Nice.
And so that's kind of nice. But tracking your stuff is very, very important, because again, you've got to be able to keep track of those metrics. You've got to be able to see improvement. Because sometimes a mirror can lie to you. Sometimes your subjective feelings can lie to you. And so tracking those numbers is valuable. If awesome. Standing is hard, you need to keep track of how many times you stand per day. Like that's your metric that you're tracking.
Yeah.
That's the strength value. That is your weight room. Your living room is then your weight room.
Sure.
And so everyone has a different starting point. It doesn't matter if you're 10, it doesn't matter if you're 100. Strength is huge. And so what does that look like? It means going to a gym. If you can't go to a gym, find something that is heavy for you around the house and move it safely. If it causes pain, if it causes more than a 3 out of 10, consult somebody first.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't watch everybody, but like reach out. Hey, should I be doing this? And I guarantee you, if you reach out to a physical therapist that's worth their salt,
yes,
they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
And they're going to teach you how to do it more than likely.
PTs are awesome.
Yeah. It's like we could get into programming. I don't, I would say you need to do something that is heavy for you 1 to 2 times per week. I feel like that's a good, solid, achievable. Yeah. I think for strength, I think you need to extend your hips heavily at least once a week. So that means either a hinge movement, so like something like a deadlift or something like that, picking something up off the ground, or a squat.
Yeah, right.
If you want to do both, if you want to go crazy, go nuts. But that's bare minimum. Sure. And that, I feel like that does cover most age groups, most abilities. The squat has a higher mobility demand because it does involve 3 joints instead of just 1.
Right.
So there is that. However, a lot of people have a negative stigma towards deadlifts. They think deadlifts are bad for them, and those people are wrong. And so, doing them wrong is wrong.
Sure.
And again, what I tell my students, there's no such thing as a bad movement, just one you're not prepared for. It's like, if I want to be prepared for any movement, and that's where I am the most. That's where I'm the most confident in my abilities. I'm not that strong. I'm strong compared to a lot of people, but I'm not that strong. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. I can move very, very well. That's where I'm really, really good.
Sure.
Movement quality is the name of the game. I literally teach a class on it. Like, movement quality is king for me. But being able to, like, being strong in that is part of it. Right. And so mobility demand is a real thing. So either squatting or hinging 1 to 2 times a week, preferably minimum 1. That's a good starting point. So that sit to stand without a chair, and do it. If it feels heavy, stay there for a while. Do it until it doesn't feel heavy. Yeah. And there's no room for egos here. You cannot, especially if you do have an injury history, if you have knee, hip, back, like, there's no room for ego. You may start with the most minuscule amount of range of motion possible. There's no reason to re-injure yourself and prolong the rehab process. If you're trying to get stronger to play with your kids, there's no reason to injure yourself to where you can play with your kids even less than you were like prior. So we want to pay very close attention. The reward is extremely high.
Yeah.
But in some people, the risk is also pretty high as well. And so we have to be careful. Pressing, you can get kind of creative. If I wanted to put it in simple terms, either horizontal press or a vertical press 1 to 2 times a week, and then either a horizontal pull or a vertical pull 1 to 2 times a week.
Nice.
And so those are our strength things. We can hit all of those. It doesn't matter the age. You can hit every single one of those. Let's see. if we want to make it a little bit more complex, let's say you're a little bit more advanced than someone who's brand spanking new, we would do a vertical pull one day, horizontal pull one day.
Oh, okay. Split it.
Vertical press,
Okay.
horizontal press. So you'd have your overhead press and you'd have your bench on separate days. So you'd have 2 press days, 2 pull days. You would do slight variations in those presses and pull.
Sure.
You would, for a lower body day, you would have a squat day and you would have a hinge day or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it at its most simple parts, that's what I said first, the simple parts. So like your squat and hinge once a week, press once a week, pull once a week. And then you can divide it down and get more and more complex from that. You can do more volume. You can do stuff every single day as long as you can recover from it. However, the bouts that you are doing and the intensity with which you're hitting them are going to be lower because that recovery process is shorter.
Sure.
So as long as you're recovering from it, like person asked earlier, time of day doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Time of day does not matter. Get it in. Doesn't, as long as you can sleep, because that's, again, it's controlled damage. It's controlled damage that you're causing. And so if you can't recover, sleep is your number one method of recovery. If your sleep sucks, everything else in your life is going to. And this is coming from someone that often struggles to sleep, and I feel it. There are lots of days where I feel sluggish most of the day because sleep sucked. And so, and it's not because I'm working out at night. I haven't done that consistently in a long time, but yeah. So, yeah, those are some kind of like practical steps.
Nice.
That we can take. Now, techniques, and you might have to write these down, with pressing, and I'm just going to go over a couple cues really quickly that I can do without having to do an entire different camera setup,
Oh yeah, right.
Just a couple things to look out for. Everything that I've mentioned, you're going to do with a neutral spine. And so when I say a neutral spine, I do not mean flat, because your spine should never look like this. If I look at you from the side and I have x-ray vision because I'm Superman, your spine should never be a straight line. Your spine is in the shape of an S. So we have this kyphotic curve up top. We have a lordotic curve at the bottom. That's our lumbar and our thoracic curve. We need those. Those are developed in infancy and all of that. Tummy time, literally.
Yes.
So we need those. So if I see a neutral spine, I need to see the slight curvature of your upper back. I need to see the slight arch of your lower back going the opposite direction. And some people, I don't see that, but I can see that their shoulders are stacked over their hips. And so all of these things, if you're bench pressing, neutral spine. If you're overhead pressing, neutral spine. If you're squatting, neutral spine. If you are doing a deadlift, neutral spine. It all needs to be neutral. Okay. That's the number one cue. I always teach my students we're prioritizing the spine. The spine is the main communication between the brain and the musculature. If your spine is out, you're out. It's sorry.
Yeah.
Especially in the strength conversation. So prioritizing the spine. When you're pressing, a main cue for pressing, do not let the elbows go out. If you're bench pressing, I shouldn't see the elbows go out. If you're doing a push-up, I should not see the elbows go out. If you're doing an overhead press, I should not see the elbows go out. Even if it's like this, I shouldn't see the elbows go out. The elbows need to stay as in as possible. This is what we call external rotation. You're turning everything out. When you're doing a bench press, you're trying to bend that bar in half the best that you can. If you're doing a push-up, you're screwing your hands into the ground. If you are pressing overhead, you're bending that bar. Kind of the same thing with pulling. You want your elbows in. You want your pull-ups to have elbows in. You want that. And again, you can get more advanced. With pulling, you can get more creative. You can get wider to hit different parts of your back.
Yeah, right.
But we're getting into the nitty-gritty. That doesn't apply to most of the people that are watching this.
Right.
If they want it, I'll absolutely go into detail. I love that crap. But those are just some really quick things. For squatting and for hinging, I never want to see your knees. If you're looking down at your knees, it's hard to show on camera. If you're looking down at your knees and you squat and your knees are inside of your feet.
Oh.
If your knees are inside of your feet, no go. Stop. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Stop. Like, you want to fix that. your knees need to track with your toes. If your toes are pointed at X number of degrees, your knees need to track that or slightly outside. Very slightly outside. That's the external rotation we talked about. Same thing at the upper body. Your shoulder and your hip actually act very, very similar to one another conveniently. Makes it easy to teach. The Lord did that. So I usually teach athletes to track their kneecaps over their pinky toes. And so it maintains that in line with the feet, everything. If you're squatting, do that. If you're hinging, if you're doing a deadlift, again, the knees should not cave in. They should stay relatively out or at least in line with the toes. That knees out engages the hips. We want to engage the hips because it's a stronger set of musculature than the spine. The spine, we're prioritizing it. If we want to prioritize it, we need to use it for what it's meant to do. It can bend, it can extend. However, it is not near as strong as your hips. Your hips are comically strong. If you look at TikTok, there's plenty of videos of girls that look like they've never touched a barbell before. Maybe you've seen the hip thrust exercise. They'll get their hips under 400 or 500 pounds and they will send their hips up to the ceiling. And it's like, okay, squat that. And they like can't fathom squatting that.
No.
And so your hips, if you isolate them, they're wildly, wildly strong. You will surprise yourself. Even with just a minor bit of progression. That's what they're for. That's what we want with our hinges. That's what we want with our squats. We want our hips to do the work, and then our knees and our spine are kind of supplementary. So that's kind of where movement wise we want to go.
Right.
Again, kind of without getting into the nitty gritty of programming.
Yeah.
But those are some movement goals, some cues. So again, neutral spine, keeping those elbows in, keeping those knees out. It's pretty vital.
Yeah.
Nice. So I don't know if y'all have any other questions or anything.
Well, if anyone in the chat does, that would be
yeah, send it.
Yeah, right.
So that's all the notes that I had.
Heck yeah, dude. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that is a ton of information. Hopefully people can absorb it. But yeah, it's been great. I think
scratching the surface,
right?
Right. I know you could teach, and I'm sure you do.
He does, yeah.
A whole class on. So yeah, I think it's great. If people have questions, you're welcome to throw them in the comments. But I think that was really helpful to focus down on strength. And we're so uncareful with language that when I hear, you hear strength or power or stamina, and you just kind of lump them all together. So I think it's helpful to tease that apart a bit.
Yep. And I think it helps clarify training. I think some people are going to think that it complicates it, but it's like, okay, I want to get better at X, Y, or Z. How do I get better at X, Y, or Z? You need to understand what does what, right?
Right.
And so that's where the importance of the vocabulary comes in. It's like, okay, if you want to get stronger, you don't need to go out and run. You need to go lift something heavy.
Yeah.
Like there is the principle of specificity there. And so it goes hand in hand with progressive overload. If a football player is training for anything other than football, they will not be better at football. Like that's just objectively not the case. Right. And so like there's these things where like they may do something specific, but it's like or something like, have y'all heard where receivers will do like ballet to improve? Yeah. That's honing in on a very, very hyper specific thing that general population just does not understand. And it's like,
and it's not applicable to most
and exactly. And it's like, it's very applicable to one position on the football field.
Yes. Yeah. Not even all of them.
One instance.
Just the
like, and it's one variation of that position. It's like, it's not even all of them. It's not even all the receivers that need to really do that. It's only the ones on the edges. Like if you have a slot receiver, they may occasionally do that, but it's like, they don't need to like spend time. That's not what they're doing. They're blocking receivers. That's what they're doing. Taking check down passes. Like that's that. So what you're trying to get better at, let's say you've identified somewhere like, okay, you can squat, you can hinge, you can do all of those things that I just mentioned, but it's like, okay, I can't pull very well.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to do push-ups. You need to pull. And so like a pulling thing, if anyone's confused, we're pulling the implement to us, or we're pulling ourselves to the implement, right? So if we're doing a pull-up, we're pulling ourselves to the bar, right? So whatever it is on the hard part of the movement, it's growing closer to us, right? A press is when the harder part of the movement is growing away from us, right? So if we're doing a push up, we're pushing the floor away from us. If we're doing a bench press, we're pushing the bent or the bar away from us, right? So as far as equipment recommendations, just popped into my mind. If you're trying to do something at home,
Sure.
kind of bang for your buck. If you're trying to save money, everything upper body wise that you want to do in your life, if you want health, okay, I'm not saying specifically strength. If you want health, you need I would say 3 to 4 pairs of dumbbells.
Okay.
And it's up to you because everyone has a different starting point. You just need to know how strong you are. Leave your ego at the door when you go to the store.
Just buy them on Amazon, then that way you don't have to
don't have to embarrass your ego until you're at home behind closed doors, and then you walk into work the next day. Your coworkers ask why you're crippled. Yeah, yeah. So 3 to 4 sets of dumbbells. Okay. You can get almost everything. So, and depending on the assortment of dumbbells, you might actually be able to get a solid strength stimulus too.
Nice,
depending on what it is, or depending on what your starting point is. But a pull-up bar.
Yeah,
say less.
Right?
Pull-up bar is a big one. And then this one's one that I've actually kind of thought about very recently. I mentioned trap bar earlier. A lot of people don't know what a trap bar is. It's otherwise known as a hex bar. So quite literally, it's a 6-sided barbell that you stand inside, and it centers the weight.
Right.
You may have seen it. You may not have known what it was. It's called a trap bar or a hex bar. It is typically shorter. Usually weighs the same as a bare barbell, but it is typically shorter than a barbell. So if you are working with tighter space, it works. And so a barbell may be cramped in here, but a trap bar feel glorious. Yeah. And so you can do hinging movements. You can do almost everything under the sun, lower body wise with that. You can do jumps with it. You can do all sorts of stuff with it.
Cool.
You can do squats with it because all you have to do is change the position of your hips and just go more vertical instead of the hinge. It works. It saves space. So get some weights to put on the trap bar. If you have room, barbell is king. I literally made a bench out of 2x10s. So
works.
I recommend buying a squat rack because a squat press rack, they make really simple ones. It's literally just goalposts with hooks on them, basically. There's really simple ones. You kind of buy once, cry once there. You can take them down, move them. They don't take up a huge amount of weight or a huge amount of space. But if you do have room for a barbell, it's highly valuable because you can adjust the hooks to a bench press height. You can adjust the hooks to a squat height, to a press height, to all sorts of things. If you get one that's tall enough, you can actually use the barbell as a pull-up bar.
Yeah. Sure.
And so it is very much kind of a buy once, cry once. I highly recommend that, especially if you live out in the middle of nowhere, which a lot of the people in this space, in a homesteading or preparedness sense, they're introverts. We like to live out places, right? Driving to the gym isn't always applicable. Thankfully, I work at a place that has a gym there, but I do have weights and stuff at home. So worst comes to worst, I just work out at home, right? And so that is very, very valuable. I do think that there is value in going somewhere, though.
Sure.
I think it's really easy to get complacent when the weights are at home. There's a lot of people that use their squat racks as coat hangers, and so
imagine so.
And so
I'd say probably the vast majority of squat racks.
And I've done it like having an exercise bike.
It just sits there.
It just sits there. Having a treadmill, not as much, but like there have been seasons where it's like, because treadmill you can just hop on and walk, and so it's kind of like non-invasive. But it's like they're having to go somewhere. It's almost like having to study or something. Like once you go somewhere to a different environment, you're almost more focused.
Sure.
It's a mental thing. The weight room is kind of the same way. So if you can go somewhere else, there's I can't remember the name of it. There's this phenomenon that happens that naturally people work harder whenever they're around others.
Yep.
It's the Kohler effect. There we go. Yes, the Kohler effect, and literally if you go to the gym, this is why CrossFit was popular.
Oh yeah.
And so like it's a community aspect.
Yep.
I go harder because other people are around. They're also going hard, so I'm going to go hard. And so there's this blood is thicker than water idea of like, hey, we're going to suffer together, and this is really, really good. And so
True.
it becomes literally addictive. But yeah, so those are just some equipment recommend. You can play with some bands and stuff, but rubber bands for strength are a little bit hard. They're hard to progress.
Yeah.
Different brands give different resistances for a certain color, for a certain width, for a certain thickness. Yeah, they're valuable, but it's like, but they also get really expensive. Like if you get some that are worth a crap, they're so expensive. Like
Just get weight.
yeah, Rogue Fitness has some of the best bands, best rubber bands on the market, and it is outrageous how much a tiny little band that is that big around costs. It is nuts. Like we recently spent like hundreds of dollars on like a class set of them.
Oh my!
They're rubber bands.
Yeah, right.
Like they're large versions of what you put on an envelope. Like it is. It's wild.
That's wrong.
I think it's oil prices. Honestly, I think that's why it's ridiculous, because tires are the same way. But
yes,
yeah. So I think you could go that route. You can definitely get a good fitness stimulus with bands, but it's hard to progress. It's just, it's because it's hard to know how much weight, because the further you stretch it, the more weight it is.
Yep.
So it becomes a little bit subjective. It's hard to measure. Let's see. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything here.
You're good. You're good. We can always have you back again.
No. Yeah, I think that again, yeah, barbell, dumbbells, bench, and squat rack. That's not a crazy space.
No, it's not
space, because
space like this can totally
you put the pull-up bar above the squat rack.
You're done.
That is 36 square feet. I'm thinking like 9x4. Like that's not a huge amount of. Now it's cramped. You're going to feel cramped, but it's definitely doable. It is definitely usable for sure.
Nice.
So
awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Absolutely. I don't see any questions, so they're done with me.
It's all good.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in and kind of elaborating more, drilling down on a certain topic. I think that's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come back and go over some other things. I think other things will be a little bit less long-winded. I think they're a little bit easier to explain. Strength is just so kind of open-ended that it needed some elaboration. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's foundational, right?
Exactly.
I appreciate being here. So
heck yeah, man. Alrighty. Well, Ryan, you want to tell everybody where they can find more about you?
Sure. Yeah, just go to thehomesteadconsultant.com or look up the Homestead Consultant on most of the socials except for Facebook, because I don't do that.
You don't do that.
Anyways, yeah, mostly YouTube. But if you need help with your homestead, figuring things out, or if you've got technical things you need help with, whatever, that's kind of my specialty.
That is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And I am Jared Wilson. I own Resilient Living. So we sell guns and ammo, knives, camping stuff, outdoor stuff, homesteading books. I like to solve problems kind of like Ryan. I just do it from the other side of the equation. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, come by the shop right on Highway 111 between Sparta and Spencer. And we can love to help you figure out whatever problem it is you're trying to solve on your homestead or whatever.
Father's Day gifts.
Oh, right. we have gift
if you're
cards.
A wife or I don't know, mother or whatever, who has a father of like somebody who is a dad, go see Jared, because he's going to help you get whatever you need. And if it comes down to a gift card, then it's a gift card.
My wife literally did it for my birthday. So we're in the process of working.
It'll be fun
for that.
Cool.
I know what he's getting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And we will be back next Tuesday, 7:00, same as normal. And until